The 8th final of the Bet Victor English Open is underway, and the Steve Davis Trophy is on the line for the first player to get to 9 frames today. And so far, so good for the underdog. Zhang, world number 57, never been inside the top 50 before this week.
The second frame, Zhang to break.
And he's conjured a break of 45 in a 34-minute frame, despite a couple of potting errors, to take the opener against Judd Trump, with 7 more in this session. The usual interval after 4. And the final session getting underway at 7 o'clock UK time this evening.
Well, he's got that cue ball reasonably close to the cushion. Well, that could have been a lot worse for Trump. Good kiss on the brown. Otherwise he would have left a chance at that red.
Yeah, sure.
It's in the balk area. No, he's going to get away with this one. He shoved the red towards that corner. And I said it yesterday, when you're playing the safety, first of all, you've got to make sure of the object ball. And then if you get the snooker, all well and good. But fortunately, Zhang has covered the red without swerving the cue ball.
I think there was a sense yesterday about the semi-finals that whoever came through the Trump-Higgins showdown was going to be red-hot favourite. And it almost felt like a final with that in mind. But make no mistake, this means a lot to Trump today. He hasn't won a ranking final for 19 months. He's under pressure to deliver against Zhang, who's brand new to this environment.
Well, no need to say that was very risky, especially with the cue ball going into the reds. So, 3 or 4 reds out. Zhang, what can he do? Needs to get them reds open as soon as possible. That's what Trump would be doing, trying to win the frame at this visit. The red that's above the black will go to the right corner at some stage. And if he could leave himself low on that red, he could use the pack of reds to play position.
9.
Ben Williams just spotting the pink on the brown spot. 7 spot occupied. Now, this is the shot that I'm talking about. If he can leave himself a little low on this red above the black, he could then open that pack of reds and play onto the black. O'Sullivan's absolutely got this shot down to a T, but it's too hard for that shot this time round. Now, does he go into them or play for that loose red? He has been positive. He's often left it late, like the last red there. Unfortunate. Got a
29.
red to the yellow pocket, but I think that's about it. Didn't quite catch them full enough, did he? Cue ball was off running, and it could have finished on a red, to be fair. Yeah, good recovery. Good recovery. Unfortunately, there's a red nearest the left corner, so he just needs to drop the blue in.
Thirty-five. $36.
Yeah, perfectly played. Now, does he go into them again or play for the loose red? Still a couple of reds. Well, 3 reds, that will go. So no need to go into them, I don't think, now. All about choice, though. And he chose to go into them.
41.
Thin cut to the corner, but it's on.
Zhang under 41.
Well, a half chance you've got to say for Trump. If it goes in, they are there. Well, it used all of the pocket, and it's dropped in.
He'd missed his first 4 attempts from long range in this final, so he'll be relieved to see that one go in.
And just had the angle there, although he's over hit that one. Would have liked to have been straight on this red to play for the black. Overhit that one.
The way he finished against Higgins was sensational, but Judd Trump made the point afterwards that he'd be looking to start matches like that a bit more often. Just take some of the pressure off, settle into his work early. First frame didn't work out. The first half of this one didn't, but chance of a comeback.
Well, these 5 reds surrounding each other, all covering each other, nothing on.
10.
So we've still got another couple of reds.
$11.
And he would have dearly liked an angle there, just to give them a little touch and stay on the loose one. I don't think he's got the angle to play that shot. So I think he may have chose to go down for the blue
18.
to open the reds.
$19.
And that's just about right. Needs a bit of luck here. It's not just about hitting the reds. Gonna finish on one. Looking at the possibility of a plant to the left corner. Doesn't want to knock a red in here. He's on one, but it's not easy.
24.
He can play down for the brown, and if it goes in, he can get back to the reds from the brown. That's how confident he was. And now look at the reds. You'd think that this is the shot. Could have played the yellow there and been guaranteed to be on a red.
31.
Yeah, good pot. Not out of the woods yet, though. It's got an angle on the brown to come back down the table, but these can go wrong. And he needs a bit of luck. He hasn't got into the brown enough, and that looks to be end of break. Poor positional shot that from Judd, you've got to say. If he's on a red there, he's guaranteed more or less to win this frame. Nicely played. Very risky that. And Harder leaves the red to the middle.
Second frame then hangs in the balance. 51 remaining. Just 5 points between them. And everything in open play.
Much too thick. Needs a bit of luck here. Oh, my word, did he get some? Yeah, I think that poor positional shot on the brown. Brown to red. It's just thrown Trump a little. Very risky to take this red on. He could just drop the cue ball on the black cushion. Cushion, should I say.
It is very early days, but I think already notions of a runaway, a cruise for Judd Trump to a 24th ranking title are being questioned here, given how competitive the start of this final has been.
Yeah, and that's what Zhang has got to keep doing, making it competitive. Fight for every ball, and that's what he's doing. He didn't want that little kiss on the black. He'll be Pleased to see that red on the right side cushion. Very difficult to get to the next red from there. Just concentrated on the 6 points. 12 the difference now. Well, and now it's Zhang who's pleased to see that red on the right side cushion. He could go straight at the red here, but I think the shot really is to play for the blue. Try and leave an angle to bring the red into play. Too hard for the blue. The pink favours a right-handed player. Another poor positional shot, you've got to say, from Trump from such an easy red. Decided to play for the safety, I imagine.
6. Judd trump 6.
Well, there is a little bit sticking out. I'll be delighted with that.
Yes, it's not just about hitting the red here for Trump, it's holding it safe as well with nothing else safe on the table.
It's going to go in, this. Which would you prefer, Zhang? The red in or snookered? The brown looks to be in the way of coming up and down the table without playing it with such a check. If he hits it, you'd think he pots it. So you may as well play it at speed so that if you do pot it, you bring the cue ball out for a colour. Very fortunate there, Judd Trump, wasn't he?
And that could be the difference between 2-0 Zhang And one apiece. Trump with a chance now. He can get decent position. Golden chance.
One.
No idea where the cue ball is and how it's finished. But not too bad. Should pop this blue. Screw back for the yellow. Into the green pocket. Wow, it caught that near knuckle. It wasn't a confident pot, that.
6.
He needs this frame, you think, Judd Trump?
Needs up to the blue.
8.
A little bit too much right-hand side on the cue ball. Again, wanted to be straighter on the pink, on the green. This is going to be difficult now to get round for the brown. Great pot.
11.
Again, not ideal. 2 balls needed.
Just frame 2 of a possible 17, but it's already very tense and tight here in the English Open final. And Trump still with work to do to level the match.
So keep running. Perfect. Relief for Judd Trump.
He got a bit lucky in snookering Zhang on the final red. Zhang couldn't pot it off the cushion. If he had done, every chance it would have been 2-0 to the underdog, and some early problems for the hot favourite, as it is. The former English Open champion will be feeling a good deal better to get an early frame on the board and level the English Open final here in Brentwood. Battle joined, 1 frame all. So let's just have a look at the schedule for this season, and it's pretty crammed, isn't it? will be lifted aloft
Judd Trump to
for
break.
whoever makes 9 frames this evening. Very, very competitive opening to this final. Both frames could have gone either way. And Judd Trump needed just a little slice of luck at the back end of the previous one, snookering Zhang on the red that was hanging invitingly over the green pocket lip, but Zhang couldn't get to it, and Trump did the business. So 1 apiece. Another 6 coming in this session.
Yes, it was a slice of luck. It was a big slice of luck, wasn't it? Because, as you say, more than likely it would have been 2-0. And Trump struggling. And even so, I fancied him to hit that red. Pot it. Come out for a colour. He played it hard enough. This is going to drift in behind the yellow. Not quite. Nicely played, snooker, on all the reds. I could try and land up to the reds just below the pink. There's danger if he tries to land up to that red that's on the black cushion. Just something to think about here, not straightforward this. Yeah, that will do nicely.
It's been a tough road to this final for Zhang Anda. He turned pro back in 2009. 3 times he fell off the tour, but each time he showed the resilience, the determination to get back on again. And he's determined to make the most of this rich vein of form that he struck at the start of this season. And already he's looking pretty much at home in this final. Sometimes it can be intimidating, particularly when you're playing someone like Trump, and particularly given how Trump ended up winning his semi-final. But so far he's looked composed, as he's done throughout the week, and he's competing very well. He'll be disappointed not to be 2-0 up, but equally I think Trump has seen enough already to suggest that he's going to have to work hard to win this title. He's not going to do it without playing well.
With shots like that, yes. This time Trump got the snooker. Not quite the snooker, but trouble. Safety success from both players, excellent.
Passionate, enthusiastic, knowledgeable crowds here in Essex. They've loved what they've seen this week. They've appreciated the safety as well. That battle we had in the opening frame that lasted 18 minutes. Some terrific safety from both players. It's not all about the big breaks.
This is dangerous. Oh, he's been very fortunate there. Could have left the red on to the right corner very easily. He didn't play to hit that red. He was trying to land up to the reds above it. Does it go? doesn't think so. It looks like it would on TV. Good pot. Trump just left enough angle on this red to be able to come out from one of the dark colours. It was a good pot. There wasn't as much pressure with it. So he's in first again. He was in first in the last frame. Got to start scoring heavier. This isn't the easiest of tables.
Three. 10. 11.
You could play for the red to the right middle here. Doesn't look as though much goes to this right corner.
Seventeen. 18.
Trump leads the head-to-head 4-2, but it's got to help that Zhang has had a couple of wins over his opponent today. He knows he can beat him.
Yeah, they haven't played for 4 years. So plenty of time for Zhang to have got a little bit better.
24.
And forget about the losses.
Well, I think unquestionably this week has been the best snooker he's ever produced. He'd never been past the quarterfinals in a ranking event previously. So just getting to the semis was progress for Zhang. But now to play in a final with the chance of landing a bumper paycheck. But more importantly for him, of course, the ranking points that goes with it. He'll be inside the top 32 if he wins today.
Yeah, and if he keeps playing like this and not missing when he's in, he's making it very difficult for Trump to assert his authority on this match. He's keeping Trump sat in his chair for long periods of time.
And at the moment, he's 9 percentage points clear in the pot success at 90 to 81.
32.
Well, he's probably thinking it's going to take a good shot here to be on another red. I want it to be straight on this pink. not rushing, taking all things into consideration. Another good pot. And things are just going for Zhang under at the moment. The kiss couldn't have gone kinder there. He did play the kiss. I wasn't sure how it was going to pan out, but it couldn't have been any better. This has now turned into a winning chance. Now, I caught that near angle. Still dropped.
Yeah, this was a heart-in-the-mouth moment because it was travelling. Sometimes at that pace, hitting the near jaw, they stay out, but I believe Zhang disappeared.
$46. $47. $54. $55.
Just overrun slightly. Shots look easy on TV, but look at the reds if he does miss. Nicely played. Put everything into that. And the frame should be his. Just this this black needed. And he's took these very well indeed. Wasn't an easy table when he came to the table. The black wasn't available.
And a good response to the disappointment of losing the tight second frame, which he might well have won had he not been snookered on that final red. But again, further evidence of the excellent temperament that Zhang is showing at the moment.
70.
He plays at his own pace, quite deliberate in his style, very different to Trump, but because he's scoring so heavily, he's using up a lot of table time, and that's going to be frustrating for Trump, of course, because he knows if he does leave Zhang a chance, he could be sitting in his chair for quite some time. This frame is surely won now with only 59 left, regardless of this red. No problem, though.
78.
He's queuing well. Another measure of Zhang's dramatic upturn in form this season is that he's already made as many centuries in this campaign as he did in the whole of the last 9. No century this time, but that was a superbly constructed break of 85. As Joe said, it was far from straightforward initially, but he took it very coolly, and he's got himself back in front in this English Open final at 2-1.
Well, he's looking really cool, isn't he? And why shouldn't he after a beautiful break? 85 there from Zhang. And we're going to take a little look back to start with frame 2, Jimmy. Really enjoying the early exchanges between these two.
Yes, you know, he misses this snooker here. This is a bad shot from him. He should, you know, he's nowhere near that pot. Judd was quite lucky to get safe after leaving the red over the pocket. This was a really nice blue from Judd, and he's not perfect on the yellow. Plays a nice shot with a bit of side. This green is a typical Judd trump, showing his power. Gets on the brown, not perfect on the brown, so a good shot required. Once this brown goes in, he only needs the blue to level the scores at 1 each. But I'm very impressed with Zhang, how well he's settled, and it looks like this is where he wants to be, and he's quite happy to be there.
Indeed, and we were talking about his long putting. He's knocked that one in lovely.
Yeah, he's kept Judd Trump sort of in his seat, and out of the two, he looks the most settled. This was a really difficult pink. You know, if he misses this, he puts Judd Trump back in the game. He gets a nice little cannon on the back, a little bit fortunate. This red, I thought, wasn't in when he first hit it, because it's near jaw, but new cloth, the pace of the ball, it went in. But, you know, it just shows you what we always talk about with Judd. He's good cue ball control. When he's in the balls, it looks as good as anyone.
And looking at both of them out there, I mean, obviously, early frames in a final, sometimes we have to wait a little bit of time for it really to catch fire. But you wouldn't think that it's Zhang Anda's first final. He looks really composed, doesn't look stressed. He's just biding his time.
Yeah, you know, with players getting into their first major final, sometimes the first session is the most difficult, but he's settled really well, 2-1 up, and in play he could have been 3-0 up. So Judd is a little bit under pressure at the moment.
And he'll be hoping he can get a quick frame on the board here before the mid-session interval. Let's return to our commentary team of Joe Johnson now and Philip Stott.
Fascinating opening to the English Open final. Zhang Anda standing up to the pressure and the occasion on his ranking final debut, giving Judd Trump plenty to think about as he leads by 2 frames to 1. This is the frame before the first interval. And another 5 coming in this first session. 9 the target for the title. What an excellent break that was. 85, launched by a superb long red. A couple of awkward pots to negotiate to keep it going. And Trump's best contribution so far, just 36. Interesting start, Joe.
Well, he hasn't had much chance, although he did have in the frame previously to last, and he didn't get on the colours from the brown. But look at the cue ball there.
Well, he had a big miscue yesterday. Cue ball leaping into the air. He's hit the red in the end, but that's not going to do Judd Trump's confidence much good. He's been talking about the state of his tip, which is in less than perfect condition, it's fair to say. That's nothing unusual for Trump.
Well, he's got a great opening here. And I think the black, well, yes, it will go. He's just not getting flustered. Not missing anything easy. I hope I haven't spoiled things for him by saying that.
8. 9.
He has made a maximum, I
16.
believe.
Yes, it was last year in the European Masters. His only concern here, though, is to make the most of this unexpected opportunity after the miscue from Trump, cueing from tight under the baulk rail. And of course, he's getting this opportunity right off the back of that break of 85, so he's in stroke, feeling good.
Well, he is on a red to the left middle. Could have
22.
been easier, mine, but... And he could have played for the loose reds, but just shows you how he's thinking now. He's feeling confident. Big shot this, though. He's going to be leaving reds on if he misses it. Right in the middle. He's just not doing anything wrong. His safety play is excellent. He's up at 97% as opposed to Judd's 90%. Trump just cannot get in.
28.
This man is taking all the table terms. Philip suggested, and not making any mistakes. Except that one. Well, and he's got a little bit of luck there, not leaving anything on.
28.
Nothing easy, should I say. Out of all the rest shots that he's played, that was probably the easiest. Not showing much emotion.
Uncharacteristic from Zhang to miss one like that this week.
Yeah, because he knows he could have been 3-1 up there.
Equally relief for Trump that the miscue didn't cost him more than a 28-point deficit, but he could have had an easier starter.
Well, he better cover this red over the right corner because Trump's had a look to see if it's possible. Well, another mistake. This red isn't a gimme though. First signs there, Zhang, that he's feeling it. That easy red that he missed with the rest. He'll be thinking about that. The cue ball. Wow, it's close.
It's not really happening at the moment, though, for Trump, is it?
Now, just when he needed something, he's not on a colour.
Success remains at 82%. It is very early in the final.
Blue trump 1.
But has to settle for the snooker behind the brown. It was a similar story, of course, yesterday for Trump when John Higgins was monopolising the table, making the big breaks, out safetying Trump, leading 5-2. It was a ball away from a 6-2 win, but that was the catalyst for Trump to produce some spectacular snooker. Turn the match his way. There's a long, long way to go in this final. But any notions of a landslide for this man, I think, have already been shown to be fanciful. Zhang is here to play. Not for the first time this week. It just felt as though that red was moving ever so slightly to the far jaw rather than towards the pocket.
Well, it certainly held its line, even if it didn't drift up. Oh, good pot here. Yeah, nicely played. He's going to be nicely on the blue. He might decide to go into them. It's such a big target. And the reds are already spread. Doesn't need to go into them hard if he does go into them. That's okay. He's still on the red. And now the red directly above the black will go into the left corner. A little nudge on the pink has freed that red. So this is another good frame winning opportunity.
Trickier than the one he missed just now with the rest.
Yeah, because there was just a little bit more to do with the cue ball, but that's okay. I think the red above the pink will go to the left corner. The one above the black will certainly go to the left corner. So you would think just the black, and he's on one.
Two. Three.
Played it well. Nicely on the red. 55-point lead. Couple of reds needed.
$29.
63 the lead, so one ball away
36.
from a 3-1 interval lead, and Judd Trump with things to think about. Another miscue from him, just as he had against Higgins. Mr. Red into this left centre just now. But Zhang has found the pocket with his red. And that's enough to leave Judd Trump needing a snooker to tie. In fact, he needs 2 snookers. 64 the difference, 59 left. And he's going to be in one by the looks of it.
Zhang under 37 and the frame.
And Judd Trump has had enough. So, Trump, the overwhelming favourite to win a second English Open, finds himself behind at the first interval. Another cool, calm and collective performance from the final debutant, Zhang Anda, who seems to be enjoying himself at the moment. Why not? He leads by 2 at 3-1. A very interesting opening to the English Open final, live from the Brentwood Centre, with the Steve Davis Trophy at stake and £80,000 and ranking points, and its advantage the big underdog, Zhang Anda, leading 3-1 at the first break. And I wonder how that leaves Judd Trump's frame of mind at the mid-session interval. And speaking of which, let's hear from the ace in the pack.
How mentally tough is snooker as a sport?
It's difficult to explain, I think, because it's hard to compare to other sports when you've not been in that position. But for me, I'd say is as difficult as it comes. There's a lot of time when you're out there on your own, you sat on your own, and a lot of things going through your head. When you're in a positive state and maybe you're predicting that your opponent's going to miss, quite often they do. So a lot of it is mindset, and I think snooker is one of the most tough games that you can possibly play.
Can you teach mental strength, or is it something you either have or you don't?
I don't think you can. I think you either have it or you don't. You can speak to people, you can definitely work at it, you can get a little bit stronger, but I think you're definitely born with it. You've either got that fight or you haven't. I think all the best players in the world have that mental strength and are able to dig in when they need it most.
What do you think of mind coaches in snooker?
I feel like myself that I'm able to know exactly what I'm going through, and it's tough for someone not in that position. I think maybe ex-players are probably the best to go to. I find it hard for someone to tell me sort of what to do or what's going on out there, not being in my actual position.
Who are the toughest players mentally?
I'd say John Higgins is very up there, and maybe someone that people wouldn't expect me to say would be Ronnie as well. He can't lose. If he does lose, then he's not tried or things like that. He has to win every single game. People think he's that good. So just to have that on you for 30 years must be difficult to keep up. So yeah, a lot of respect for him.
What has been the hardest time mentally during your career?
I think probably maybe the first few years when I felt like I was qualifying for events, losing the last 32 all the time. I couldn't properly break through. I think just to not be able to kind of do that straight away as a professional was difficult to take. And
since then, when do you think you've had to show the most resilience?
All the tournaments were at the same place, Milton Keynes, when COVID was going on. I think everyone seemed to struggle apart from me. So I think that just tells a little bit, and probably maybe something that I should take more pride in when I'm out there and feel like I have got it under the utmost pressure.
You join us live from the Brentwood Centre here in Essex, and it is very much the business end of this year's English Open, and it will be a very quick turnaround because we've got the Wuhan Open starting tomorrow morning at 8:30 Central European Time. That's on Eurosport 1, and then also available on Discovery Plus, the qualifiers for the Northern Ireland Open starting on the 17th of October, and of course we'll be back in Belfast for the tournament proper on the 22nd of October. But as I said, it is all about this final, all about the English Open, and right now Judd Trump, guys, is in a spot of bother. What a performance from Zhang to take his chances, to be able to settle into this match, considering this is his first ever final, first experience of this.
No, fantastic, phenomenal. He's not a fast player. He's very slow. Takes his time, weighs up the shot, and he's playing at his own pace. Judd seems to be in and out of pace for me. He's a little bit all at sea. He's missing a few balls. It could have been 4-0 down, so 3-1 to Zhang.
Well, we'll talk about could have been 4-0 down, and Alan will get to frame two because Judd, in the end, gets a snooker. He's very, very lucky.
He was very fortunate, but prior to that, Zhang could not have written this script better in the first 4 frames this afternoon. Judd's in a bit of trouble, so he's got to use, his experience, get a bit of luck. He gets it, and it turns out to be exactly what he needed, because up until that point we were pretty much an hour into proceedings and he had nothing to get hold of. He wasn't all over the place, but he wasn't imposing himself on the match, which was what we were expecting. Zhang there, you would expect to get a piece of the red, and obviously it would have gone in. And even this yellow to green was a poor shot, and Judd, that was the positional shot on the green. Brilliant cue ball. He's got that odd little piece of stardust shot that you can get the cue ball all singing, all dancing round for the brown. It went in, as did the blue, and he was on the board. But as I say, an hour in, it was a struggle, and he was fortunate to be 1-all.
Indeed, and talking about the stardust, we saw a little bit of that from Zhang then, to kicking on into the next frame. We're talking about his long passing. This didn't look too bad as we look at the starting shots here.
Yeah, okay, there's a little bit of a safety element in this shot, but, this has got to be potted, bang in the middle of the pocket, not leaving too much, and made sure that he was on a bulk colour or blue. So he's pretty confident, and this pink is very missable. Under the circumstances, played a bad positional shot, pots the pink, gets a little nice nudge on the black, the way he can pot this red and then the black after. For me, I didn't think this red was in. It just hits the jaw, but with a new cloth, and it managed to fall in. And then he goes on to make a fantastic break. But what I do like about his game is when he is in close, he's a bit like O'Sullivan and Ding. His cue ball control is fantastic, so he makes the next shot very easy.
We were in this position yesterday against John Higgins, Alan, 3-1 down, and we also were in this position seeing Judd Trump miss cue. We're going to take a look at this incident as well.
Yes, it's been a theme this week. Maybe not a theme, it's just happened a couple of times. It's worth showing again. The other thing at this stage of the match, 3 frames in, Judd's lobbing along at 27 seconds a shot, incidentally, so there's no rhythm in his game whatsoever. You can see there his tip, even though it's moving around, it's a little frayed. That is a bad miscue. We do sometimes talk about Judd's head movement, but watch it here. The eyes almost close. Look, when he goes on impact, the cue just taps the bottom of his chin, and his eyes almost sort of not close. And he needed a helping hand. He got one there, but Zhang, fortunately, Jimmy, really got away with one.
Yeah, but this red here off the pink spot, Al, you expect Judd to pop that. It's not a difficult shot at all, and he's even the wrong side of the blue. And Zhang got in there and he was 28 in front, but potted a decent red and went on to win the frame. All the pressure is on Trump at the moment.
Which we did not expect at all, considering, you know, we look back at 2020 when Judd won 5 ranking titles. Zhang Anda wasn't even on the tour because he'd fallen off, and here he is now dominating this match.
Yeah, absolutely. We said yesterday the ace in the pack might need to stick or twist here. We've already reached that stage in this final. Does he go super aggressive or try and play the waiting game? It's going to be fascinating the next 4.
Well, we saw it yesterday when he went super aggressive and how devastating and damaging that was against John Higgins. Will it be plan B for Judd Trump? We'll be finding out if he can get back into this final. It's a surprise package in Zhang Anda, but an even bigger surprise. He leads 3 frames to 1 at the first mini interval. Always lovely to find out a little bit more with the players, and we're loving the snooker confessions.
So what did your school reports say about you?
Don't know, nothing positive, I don't think.
When I went to school, they'd have probably said I was quite well behaved.
Satisfactory, but capable of much more.
Sort of probably daydream quite a lot about being a snooker player.
Useless. Never going to make himself anything.
What over the years has been your late night takeaway of choice?
Well, it was either two, and you know, if Mark Allen was around and we both lost and wanted to go grab a bite, it was Domino's. If he wasn't around and I still wanted to go, it was Chinese.
It's normally just good old sort of fish and chips or pie and chips, you know.
Chinese crispy duck with some sauce.
Well, in UK, there's not much choice to have. Maybe just a kebab, something like that.
Chinese, and then crisps. Crisps was my...
You loved your crisps, didn't you? Yeah.
Crisps are my downfall. I'm going back to eating them again, which is so bad.
If I've had a few, it'll probably be like, well, it's normally a kebab shop open, so it'll be something like that.
Now, this is one that gets people blushing. What was your first celebrity crush?
Someone like Kelly Brook or something like that back in the day.
Easy. That was Palm out of Dallas.
Probably Britney Spears, I think. Oh, right. You had only been about 9 or 10 when she became a star, Judd. You were starting early.
You started early, yeah.
Was it The Little Mermaid when I was a little kid?
Oh, right.
Yeah,
You
cartoon, yeah.
Thingy LeBrock out of Weird Science.
Kelly LeBrock?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Yeah. Unbelievable, yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah. Do you have any phobias?
Snakes.
Snakes.
Yeah. Terrified. Terrified of snakes.
My sister locked me in a suitcase once, and I didn't like that. So I don't think I like really. I don't know if anyone's good with that, but yeah, I definitely felt claustrophobic. But I'm all right in lifts and stuff.
I'm not a fan of spiders. I have to get Sophie in to deal with them.
Pumpkin.
Really?
I hate pumpkin,
Yeah.
and that's why I can't eat sweet potato, because the texture is kind of like the same.
A snake, I think if anyone put a snake near me or a snake in the room, I'd scream, I think.
Well, of course, we're going to focus on this final, but the burning question is your first celebrity crush, Jimmy.
Oh, Lauren Hutton,
And your favourite takeaway?
Mexican.
Mexican.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I like Mexican,
That
yeah.
surprised me. You've not ordered any Mexicans this week.
No, well, we've been going with, we've had some nice food, though. We've had Indians, Chinese. It's been very good food here.
Right. We will be, of course, looking forward to this match. What is the best part of being involved in a final?
The best part of being involved in the final, you're one step away from lifting the trophy. You know, you've gone through all the matches all week to get here. And, you know, Trump at the moment is under severe pressure. And we're talking about him going aggressive like he did against John Higgins. Problem he's got is with Zhang Anda, he's playing at his own pace, and he's very good in the balls, and he's putting him under pressure.
Indeed, and the action will be getting underway very soon. Great to have your company this afternoon on this Sunday, and it's the English Open final. Currently, it's Zhang Anda, the world 57, leading the world number 5, Judd Trump, 3 frames to 1, and very tense, I'm sure, backstage, and of course, a great atmosphere. The fans have been brilliant all week. No doubt they would have loved to have seen one of their own players here in the final today, but this is a spectacle, and we can now go to Alan McManus.
Yes, thank you, Rachel. I'm down in amongst the Romford faithful. We're deep in Steve Davis country, as we know. We're playing for the Steve Davis Trophy. I thought it'd be nice to come down and have a little chat with a couple of the locals. They're all streaming in, so it's very busy. But if I could just squeeze past there a second, I've got a couple of locals. They're from Loughton. Good evening. Good afternoon, actually. What do you think of the final so far?
I think it's been really nice. It's been entertaining. I expect Judd to put his foot on the pedal this session and maybe tonight, but it's been enjoyable, really. Enjoyable.
Were you hoping for a local lad, or are you happy with the finalists?
I'm happy with the finalists, but I was hoping for Ronnie.
Yeah, well, they all do, don't they? What about yourself, sir, from Loughton as well?
Yeah, I think Judd will warm up into this. Hopefully his tip's not too bad, but he'll get motoring soon.
What about Zhang? He's settled in nicely, hasn't he?
Yeah, he looks calm. He's not missing much, so he's a really good player. Yeah.
Are you here for this evening's session as well?
Yeah, we're here all day, yeah.
Brilliant. Why wouldn't you be? So, back to you, Rachel. We're down on the floor having some fun with the Steve Davis faithful. Back to you.
And we'll be here all night as well, and how this will unravel, it's anyone's guess at the minute, I suppose. The big question is the response from Judd Trump. We saw he had it yesterday. Is he going to come out gung-ho? Are we at that panic stage? Alan was suggesting that maybe we are.
Yeah, absolutely, because, he's missing balls. He finished off last night like a train, played that lights-out snooker to win. This game, he started off a bit tentative, and he hasn't got out of it. The problem he's got is Zhang plays at a slow pace. With John Higgins, he knows John Higgins' game and the time he takes on a shot, and he can get a rhythm going. With Zananda, Judd needs to get in there now, which we thought he was going to be saying it the other way round, but Judd is under pressure. He needs to win a couple of frames in one visit to settle him. At the moment, he's not settled.
And Zhang Anda is settled. Is that just his whole demeanour? I mean, he comes in, he's quite a bashful chap, isn't he? He's taken it all in his stride this week.
Oh, I'm really impressed with him today. We've always known he was a good player, but he's in his own bubble. He's playing his own game. As soon as he gets in the balls, he's very comfortable. And he expects to win the game in one visit. Very dangerous opponent at the moment.
At this stage, who do you think will be lifting the Steve Davis Trophy?
I still think Judd will win, but he's got to get it going very quickly.
Okay, so there you go. We've had an interesting 4 frames. I think this is really where we're going to find out what Judd Trump is made of.
Well, we know he's made of it still, but he needs to get some frames on the board.
Okay, lovely stuff. Thanks to Jimmy and to Alan. And out come the players then, of course. 4 more frames to be played this afternoon. And once again, sit back, relax, and we can enjoy the action with Joe Johnson and first up, Philip Studd.
Thank you. The 5th frame, Judd Trump to break.
Well, from the point of view of the neutral, perhaps this is what this final needed. Zhang making a surprisingly quick start against Judd Trump. I say surprising because most people thought Trump would be something approaching a shoe-in to win this today, given that Zhang is playing his first final. Trump is playing his 39th ranking final, going for his 24th title, but it's not panning out that way at the moment. And we could be in for something very competitive all the way to the wire. But as Jimmy has pointed out there, at the moment this match is being played on Zhang Anda's terms at his pace, and it's up to Trump to try and change that dynamic and impose himself. But you can only do that if you're given the opportunities, and Zhang's safety so far has been close to immaculate, Joe. 31 out of 33 successfully executed.
Yeah, and on top of that, he's getting the run of the ball as well. So when he did miss, I mean, he missed an easy red with the rest in the last frame, but didn't leave anything on. Eventually, Trump potted that red over the pocket, but he didn't get onto a colour. It was so thin, he didn't know where the cue ball was going. So he is on top, and it's going to take some good snooker to get him out of that bubble, as Jimmy calls it.
And of course, Trump did have a bit of run, didn't he, at the back end of frame 2 when he snookered Zhang on the red over the pocket. Otherwise, could have been an even deeper hole. And as it is, 3-1, still bags of time to recover. There are still 4 frames in this session to come. 9 is the target for the title. The 7th meeting, Trump having won 4 of the previous 6.
Yep, and still going for him. He played that cue ball to the baulk cushion, but look where it is. Perfect on the brown.
Held his hand up straight away.
Could have done with being a little bit closer to these two reds. Didn't want to finish so straight on the black.
Thank you. 13.
And that's not a bad kiss on the yellow. Now, does he go into the reds here? Such a big target to go into them from. He's looking at the brown, but the yellow is always going to be the ball. Yeah, and that's the shot to play. He's on a red to the middle. I'm not sure if he can get to a colour from that red. That could have turned out a lot nicer. He may have to play safe here because is it risk playing the red to the middle for 1 point? That's an absolute cracker. What a shot that was. That was absolutely brilliant. Should be, could be frame winner. He really gave that a lot of thought. To have been straighter on this red. May have Have to go down for the blue.
Far from looking like a final rookie, he appears almost veteran-like. Zhang Anda, he's been waiting for this moment for a long time. He turned pro for the first time 14 years ago. Been off the tour on 3 occasions. Not back as recently as a couple of years back. Thoroughly embracing this opportunity. He knows he's a big underdog. He doesn't care. Just going about his business as he has throughout the week. He was a big underdog against Ronnie O'Sullivan, and we know how that ended.
I think he's just enjoying himself out there. Why shouldn't he? You know, people say, go out and enjoy yourself. And that's what he's doing. And things are just working out for him. Every little touch, every cannon, it's working out absolutely perfectly. That's not gone according to plan. He's still on this red to the left corner, but not straightforward to get to a colour. Have to go back up for the blue.
53.
And it's working out just fine. Perfect position again. This is top-class snooker
58.
by anybody's standards.
We're watching the world number 57, remember, or at least that's what he was when he arrived in Brentwood. He's guaranteed to be at least 40 just by getting this far.
59.
Could be as high as 30 if he wins tonight. A long, long way off the winning line. But how well is he playing at the moment?
At some stage, though, he's going to start to think, oh, wait a minute. I've got a chance of winning this now. A real chance. And maybe that's when the pressure will come on.
Well, he only needs this red to increase the lead to 3, barring snookers. Judd Trump looking a little alarmed, and understandably, this is not going to the script. It's just a serenity about Zhang Anda, playing at his own pace, taking his time, but just looking completely unruffled and unaffected by the gravity of the situation. The fact that he's in a major final for the first time, playing one of the world's best, who's well used to this environment. At the moment, outplaying one of the world's best by some margin. Judd Trump's pot success is now at 79%. Zhang Anders is at 94.
And to be honest, I don't know how it's gone down, Trump's, because he hasn't had a go at anything. He's been totally frozen out. So this is now his ice break. Every chance of making a century. And as Philip said, he's already made as many centuries this year in the first few tournaments than he did in the whole of the last year.
When he did nothing better in the round of 32, and that was only on a couple of occasions. It's been a remarkable upturn in form at the start of this season. He said he took a lot of confidence from his qualifying victories for the upcoming Chinese ranking events. Outstanding.
Yeah, brilliant. Well played. In total control of himself.
103.
Judd Trump pointed out ahead of this final that he'd noticed that Zhang's numbers were very impressive when it came to his weight of scoring this week. He's seeing it up close this afternoon. And it must be giving him cause for concern. He's going to have to raise his game. He's going to have to try and impose his game style on this final, which at the moment he's not being allowed to do. He was able to do it when it mattered in the nick of time yesterday against Higgins. Can he do it again in what remains of this session? The best he can do now is tie it up. But Zhang Anda has designs on a healthy lead going into this evening's conclusive session. What a performance this is. A 1-2-8 clearance from Zhang as he extends his lead over Judd Trump to 4-1.